Hello everyone and welcome to Werven's World and welcome to my guide on the Sun Paladin in Tales of Maj'Eyal. So I have been playing a Sun Paladin now and I'm already level 45. I'm playing on the normal difficulty with a roguelike setting and I have still not died. So I'm almost at the end of the game, so I hope to be able to finish it with this character. But before he accidentally dies, I thought I would already make a guide on it, how I have been playing this character. Of course, don't take my word on everything. I make plenty of mistakes and I might not have built this character in the best way possible, but at least at the moment it's working out fairly well, so I thought I would make a guide on it. So, what is a Sun Paladin? A Sun Paladin is kind of what you would expect from it. It's really like a tanky character that has a lot of access to heals and shields. Your damage is fairly low, although I must say I can't really complain. Early game it wasn't that great, but once I got my first prodigy, I've been kind of waltzing through the game. So let's go into the Sun Paladin. What do you need? So I've been maxing my strength and my magic, and the reason for that is basically scaling. So most of your spells scale really well with spell power. So you get better shields, you get better heals, things like that. And your strength, well, you have more physical power in your physical character. So it really helps, especially also wearing heavy equipment. You get more encumbrance. It's yeah. So that's the reason I chose those stats. Afterwards, I wasn't entirely sure. I really like Constitution because of this Chant of Fortitude, which gives me 25% extra life, which currently is 568. So basically, for every point of Constitution, I get even 25%. I get 1.25 point of Constitution, basically, when you consider just your max life. So that's a very good synergy. However, I found that normally, because of all my shields, I don't tend to lose much health. So I haven't invested heavily in this. However, as you can see, I only have 23 points. But I do have a fair amount of Constitution just because of my items and my racial abilities. So I do like Constitution, but there's also Dexterity, which allows you to shrug off critical hits, as well as it increases your accuracy, and your accuracy isn't that great, so I decided to max Dexterity afterwards, even though you also have a generic talent here that increased accuracy. I haven't put any points in it yet because I've been going for Dexterity. Another thing you could do is to put points into Cunning, which would improve your critical chance, so you can get critical heals and critical attacks, and it's all great. So basically, I think it's really up to you whether you want to go for Cunning, Dexterity, or Constitution. I'm kind of doing a mix of Constitution and Dexterity, mostly Dexterity, but as you can see, my Cunning is also fairly okay because of items. Alright, so those are the stats. Let's continue with the skills. So with skills, you first have to know that you start the game without combat techniques, without Guardian, and without Radiance. So how I started the game was basically I started maxing off Weapon of Light immediately because it's a great skill. As a Sun Paladin, you have lots of sustains, so you have lots of active abilities all the time that are kind of activated. And this one just gives you extra damage. So it's great. You basically just well, hit people harder. And that's a bit of a problem with the Sun Paladin. You are lacking a bit on the damage component, so it's a nice skill to have. Then you've got Wave of Power, which basically does a range attack, and I haven't used that at all. And the reason for that is that it costs positive energy, and I don't have much positive energy with this build. So I've often found I couldn't even cast this skill even if I wanted to, so I haven't put points into that. So positive energy works in a bit of a weird way. You have skills that generate positive energy, basically, like this one has a positive energy cost of -27, so it generates 27 positive energy. Well, this skill would cost me 20.3. So that's how it works. It's kind of a balance between different skills. But yeah, so I haven't really put anything into here. Weapon of Wrath, I have maxed, but I haven't maxed it for its first part. It says you deal 85% of your lost HP as additional fire damage, which is really great. However, I put so much emphasis on shields in this build that I tend not to lose much health. So I haven't maxed it for that. What I did max it for is the second ability, is that targets I strike are afflicted with martyrdom effect that causes them to take 30% of the damage they deal for 4 turns, which sounds really great, so that's why I took it. Then there is second life, which is also amazing. Basically, whenever you die, you get a second life, and it heals you for 1100 health. So that's ridiculous. It's really, really nice. So I don't think I ever triggered it, but I must say I haven't really paid much attention to it. But it's a great thing. Basically, you just, well, you get an extra life every 30 turns, so it's a really nice skill. All right, let's then go to, well, you can choose between either making a two-handed Sun Paladin or a Shield Paladin. I chose for the Shield because I like to play tanky characters. Especially because I'm a bit careless during the game often, so it saves my ass once in a while. So I decided not to go for a two-handed build, although I guess if you would play the Ogre, you can have both a two-hander and a shield. However, I haven't unlocked the Ogre yet, so I can't play that, but I would like to try that at some point. But I went for the shield, and as you can see here, I maxed Assault, which is great. You basically hit the target three times, of which 2 times is a critical hit. So that does a fair amount of damage. Shield Pummel also does a lot of damage, and it stuns the target, so I'm currently maxing that. I'm not sure about these. I guess Shield Stun might be nice because you return to a blocking position after hitting someone for not a lot of damage. And blocking basically reduces your damage, which sounds great. Haven't paid much attention to it, and I do use this skill in my rotation, basically whenever I need to do damage. However, I'm currently just focusing on these things. But yeah, that might be a good skill, but I'm not entirely sure. Alright, let's go to Combat Veteran. Combat Veteran, I haven't really... I don't think it's that great. So you can regenerate stamina faster. Stamina is good to have, but I don't use it that much. Sometimes in long drawn out fights my stamina gets low and sometimes even run out, but I haven't really run into much problems with it, so I don't think it's really worth the point actually. I wanted to put it in here to regenerate life per turn, but as I said, I actually put a lot of skills into shields, so I don't necessarily lose that much life every turn. So I think I should have saved these 2 points. I don't think it's worth it. Well, then you can be resistant to some spell effects, but due to reasons I get into later, I don't think I really need that either. And then gaining stamina with each death you cause, yeah, I don't, nah. I think I could have kind of skipped this tree at all, overall. Let us then go into Guardian, which I unlocked with a category point. This is great. You can have a Shield of Light, basically. Every time you get hit, you get healed. It's a sustain, it costs some positive energy. However, you need to have positive energy in order to heal, which you can generate using Crusade. So Crusade is a nice attack. You attack for a fair amount of damage, and it has a positive energy cost of minus 27. So basically, whenever I hit, I get 27 positive energy, and then whenever I get hit, I take 2 positive energy in order to heal me for some damage. It's great. As I said, I don't really try to get below my shields regarding hit points. I don't try to get damaged, but yeah, it's nice. Because also whenever I hit someone, I get a bonus attack with my shield dealing 90% light damage. So it also increases my offense. So I thought it would be worth maxing. I haven't put anything into Brandish. The reason for that is it's a attack that cost me positive energy, and I don't have much positive energy, and when I have it I kind of want to use it for this Shield of Light, and I had enough attack skills, so I didn't really put it in there. It might be good. I haven't really checked it because it's also kind of an AoE, and you are lacking in the AoE department until you get your first prodigy. But yeah, I haven't really missed it, so yeah, you can try, but I haven't used it. Retribution, it negates the damage you get, which is great. And then afterwards is even better. It explodes and it causes a lot of damage in an AoE. So basically, when they hit you too often, you make an AoE attack, and actually it seems to one-shot a lot of enemies, or at least severely damage them. So it's a really, really nice skill. I really like it. Then there's Crusade. We already talked about it. You can attack people and get some positive energy. I really like it. Alright, so then we can go to this we did. We can go to Celestial Radiance. I unlocked this fairly late in the game, but I kind of like it. Blindness is, well, it's annoying. So basically you get a glow around you in a fairly large radius, and you get blindness resistance, which is nice. However, you get these 2 skills that basically stack with this radius. So I'm now maxing this to get a bigger radius so that these skills can do more. And this one basically allows me to see invisible and stealth creatures better, as well as lowering their defense. So their defense is reduced by 28, and that basically, together with my dexterity and accuracy, allows me to not put many points in combat accuracy, because their defense decreases and my accuracy increases basically using dexterity. So I haven't put any points in combat accuracy and I haven't missed it. Then there is Searing Sight even, and that does basically AoE damage every turn, and it has a chance to daze enemies. So I only put 4 points in it because then I get the chance to daze. I didn't really take it for the damage, and overall it's been working out well. So that's what I take in Radiance. Then there is Celestial Sun. Not entirely sure about this tree, however I do think it's really necessary as a Sun Paladin. You're very much lacking mobility, and I haven't really used Sunray at all. But I did take Path of the Sun, and Path of the Sun, basically I can show it. It makes a line, and here walking on this line doesn't cost me any movement. So I can keep walking on this as long as I want without costing it a turn. So it's a great way of getting into close combat with other people. If there was somebody standing here, I could just cast Sunbeam on them, and I could just walk to them and then smack them in the face, which is great. So it also damages people that are on that line, but I don't really use it as a damage skill. The reason I put 2 points in it instead of 1 is that the range increased. So basically I could make the beam longer so I can walk further. I did take Sun's Vengeance. I might put some more points in here. Basically, it increases my physical and spell critical chance by a certain percentage, which sounds great. So that's kind of the reason I took it. Each time I crit with a physical spell, I can gain Sun Vengeance, which basically makes this Sunray damage spell cost less. You can cast it instantaneously. So basically, it's free damage. However, just because of my playstyle, you have to look whether you have this buff from Sun's Vengeance in your buff bar, so then you can cast Sunray for free, and I tend to not really pay attention to that. So that's basically why I didn't really invest in this. It might be a really good spell, but because of my playstyle, I didn't invest much in this. So it might be worth taking, depending on your playstyle, but I don't really feel like I have spare class points, so yeah, it's up to you, I guess. Then there is, which one was it? Here, Combat Techniques. I did unlock it now with a category point because I was feeling I was missing mobility. I have been kited a couple of times, and at one time even got dangerous. I got to like 15 health because of my lack of mobility. So now I unlocked it just for Rush. Basically it gives me a charge so I can get into close combat very easily. So that together with Sunbeam and actually my Ghoulish Leap gives me a fair amount of mobility in combat in order to get to the pesky wizards, which are very dangerous, as well as archers, which are also very dangerous. Alright, so those were the class abilities. Let's go to the generic ones. In the generic ones, I focused very much on survivability. So I have here Thick Skin, also one reason I leveled my constitution a bit. So all damage is reduced by 15%. Great. Armor Training increases my survivability. Then now I'm maxing Weapon Mastery because I'm not sure where I can still put points in. That's very useful. So Weapon Mastery just increases my physical power and weapon damage. More killing power, which is great. As the Sun Paladin is not that great at dishing out damage. Alright, then Chants. I've been looking over these, and there's basically 2 chants I wanted to have, but you can only have one chant active. So you have Chant of Fortitude, which increases your physical spell saves, as well as increasing your maximum life. And currently I actually get 568 extra life from that, so it gets quite a bit. And then you have the Chant of Resistance, which increases your resistances to damage. That's also really nice. So it depends on if you prefer getting less damage or if you prefer getting rid of nasty effects. And I really hate nasty effects, so like stun is like really deadly. So I went for Chant of Fortitude instead. And this is really great together with so I play a ghoul. There is plenty of other races that are very good for the Sun Paladin, but I wanted to play as a ghoul, which has plenty of drawbacks, especially the fact that it's slower than other characters. So sometimes monsters get 2 attacks instead of 1, But here with Wretch, you basically vomit all over the ground, and every turn I'm standing in my own vomit, I get a 27% chance to remove a physical effect. That together with Chant of Fortitude, meaning I don't get physical effects as often, really synergizes quite well. So I like that. So I just put 5 points in here and I ignored all the other ones. Then, Healing Light. Perfect. You have a heal. Nice. So it's not instant, but yeah, it heals you for a fair amount, not an amazing amount, but hey, can't complain. Then I put points into Barrier, which is a shield that negates a fair amount of damage, also not like an amazing amount, but its cooldown is quite okay. It saved my life a lot of time, so that's very nice. Then you have Providence, which heals you for a bit each turn, but it also removes a single negative effect for you. I haven't used it much just because of my Chant of Fortitude and my Wretch, but I just took it because it could be life-saving. If you are, I think, for example, when I start fighting the boss, or like a very difficult, unique monster, I will just pop this, and then the first 4 turns at the moment, I get protected against physical effects. So it's very nice. Then we've got Undead Ghoul. I really like it. As I said, the Undead the Ghoul has some negatives, especially just its speed is really, you get 80% speed basically. So other people every 5 turns get an extra turn, which is super dangerous. And you can't use infusions such as regeneration. So yeah, there's definitely drawbacks to using this. But I can't take blows that deal more than 50% of my maximum life, which is really nice. And I cannot, and I get extra strength and constitution, which is also nice, which means more hit points, which means better Chant of Fortitude, maximum life bonus. That's also why I didn't take Suncloak, because Suncloak means I cannot take more than 88% damage of my maximum life. However, I already have that in my racial, so Suncloak is a great ability, but for the Ghoul, I guess I don't really need it. So that's where I saved some points. Ghoulish Leap is great. It's just a leap. It's basically a teleport. I can show you. You can just basically leap anywhere, and that's really saved my ass. As I told you, I had once like 10 hit points left, and I was really looking at my ability bar, and I was like, oh, now I'm gonna die. And I was like level 30 something, I think. And I was like, there's nothing I can do anymore. And then I looked at my Ghoulish Leap, and I could leap behind the tree, and I could save 2 turns in order so my shield was on cooldown again, so it really saved my life. The reason I put a lot of levels in this is that first of all the range increases, so sometimes I noticed that archers and wizards were out of my range, so I increased it for that a bit, but also the cooldown decreases with more levels, so that's great. So that was basically it. As you can see here, Cunning Survival I didn't unlock at all. I unlocked Corruption Hexes, I think because I killed the anti-magic people or something, I forgot. But yeah, so that's how I built my character. So let's go to my equipment. So my equipment is, well, nothing really special to talk about, I guess. I just focus really later on resistances because, well, magic gets really dangerous. So here, for example, I have the Black Plate, which gives me a lot of resistances. I've got here the Summertide Shield, which gives a lot of resistances. So yeah, resistances against different kind of magic, I really prioritized. Then I also prioritized things like spell save, physical save, and mental save because, as I said, like these are really dangerous. Things like stun and confusion can really kill you. Like confusion killed my archmage actually. So next to my own stupid mistakes, of course. So yeah, I really prioritize defensive because as a Sun Paladin, you're really good at being defensive, and well, damage, at least according to me, is a secondary concern. So I've just been focusing on resistances mostly. So yeah, not much else to say. I've just been picking up the things that were better than others and focusing on resistance. Then there are the runes and inscriptions. Well, for runes and inscriptions, actually, I have I've got a Phase Door, which has saved my life a couple of times. So basically you can teleport away a bit and then you also get some resistances. So that's very nice. And then basically I've got 3 shields. Rune Reflection Shield, Rune Shielding, Rune Shielding. The reason I have a extra category had an extra category point is that I consumed the Corrupted Wormheart, and then your stats get randomized a little bit and you get an extra category point, which allowed me to take another inscription. For prodigies, I have at the moment Irresistible Sun. This talent is absolutely amazing. Once I got it at level 30, I just had like this power spike. Basically, you activate it. I can activate it now. And I get like this huge AoE, and it sucks in enemies, so it's great because you're lacking mobility a bit, and actually creatures come to you, which is great. But it also really basically normally takes only 2 turns to get rid of most enemies. So you accidentally open a chest that was very dangerous and spawns a lot of enemies around you. Just activate Irresistible Sun and everybody dies in like 1 or 2 turns. It does really a lot of damage, and it scales with your strength. So taking strength to the max is really great for this prodigy. Then there are other prodigies that were also great. For example, I Can Carry the World increases your strength by 40, which in turn increases your damage by Irresistible Sun. However, I found that it was already doing plenty of damage. There are a couple of other prodigies that would have been really nice to have. For example, Eternal Guard, you can block more. I think Spectral Shield, you can block any damage type, which would also be really nice. But in the end, I went for Corrupted Shell, which improves my life by 250%, which stacks then again with my Chant of Fortitude, which increases my life even more. So basically, it didn't increase by 250, but with even more. So like 325, or what is it? Then my defense increases, my armor hardiness increases, I increase my saves, and the saves and defense will improve with my constitution. So yeah, basically it just makes me that much more hardy, which is really nice as a Sun Paladin. You get even more tanky than you already were. So which race should you play as a Sun Paladin? Well, it's completely up to you, of course. I personally like the defensive races, although I must say I have only played 2 Sun Paladins. So the first one was a dwarf and this one is a ghoul, and both I liked. Both are very defensive. They've got nice ratios that help you in defense. Other ones that might be nice would be Skeleton, has a big experience penalty, but it's got that skeleton shield, which is amazing, as well as kind of like a resurrection, which would be nice. Halfling might be nice as well. It's got some good defensive ratios as well as some nice offensive ones. And of course, Ogre would be nice, although I haven't unlocked it. The Ogre can use 2-handed weapons and the shield. So basically you could focus on the 2-handed assault tree plus the shield offense tree, and that might be fun as well. However, I don't really know what the pros and cons of Ogres are, as I haven't unlocked them myself yet. So yeah, basically I can't tell you what's up with that. But yeah, I personally like the defensive classes, like Ghoul, Skeleton, Dwarf, Halfling. Those would be my choices. Alright, so those were all the things about the Sun Paladin that I have to tell you. What I will do now is basically include some combat examples where I get into trouble and then basically explain you how I get out of the trouble. And I will play until I get to the boss, and hopefully I can include some footage of me beating the boss, or I can include footage where you can laugh at me that I die. So we'll see what happens in either case. But yeah, so for now I hope you found it useful, and see you next time. Alright, let's get into trouble. We can open the vault here, and we immediately see Orc Warriors level 61, 62, I'm level 45. So I'm just, to be sure, I always pop my reflection shield first, and the reason for that is that it's instant. My other shield is not instant, and I like to have instant damage reduction. And then I basically pop Irresistible Sun, and you will see how much damage it does. There, I already killed one of them. This one here is now at 43%, 58%, and 15%. Actually, if I now just walk away... Here, now I just waited turns and my Irresistible Sun killed enemies that were 20 levels higher than I was. That's like... yeah, it's really powerful. So now I just wait until my Irresistible Sun is up again, because it's a good skill. Let's see where to go. Here's some more. Level 64 Elite, so pop my shield again, pop Irresistible Sun, and now I just basically start my rotation. So I have all of these skills, I have kind of an autocast, so all my sustains I have on autocast, so I always have them activated. I put them on the autocasts that auto uses when no enemies are visible, because most of them take a turn to cast, and I don't want, basically, let's say they accidentally are not activated, that the AI suddenly takes turns of me to activate them, and then I might die. So I have these all on autocast. I do take into account sometimes to look at it whether they are still activated or not during a combat, so that I can choose whether I want to activate them again or not. But yeah, so I have all of these buffs here, and for the shield, this one, yeah, it costs 2 positive energy to heal me whenever I get hit. So normally I start combat with Crusade in order to get some positive energy, as you can see now. There, now I got 27 positive energy, so my shield can do a couple of turns of fun. Then I will start hitting them, normally with either Assault or Shield Pummel, because they both do a good amount of damage. I like Shield Pummel better against special enemies because they have like skills, and then I can stun them, which is great. So this elite here I will just kill probably. Oh, there. And now I'm just gonna tap into them to kill them. As you can see here, now my shield ran off, and just to be sure, I always pop another shield afterwards. I prefer to, after my rune of shielding, I prefer to pop my barrier instead of my other runes, otherwise you get runic saturation, which increases the cooldowns of your runes, and that's a bit dangerous. So, there we go. So here I'm just, yeah, using, again, Irresistible Sun, popping shields, and just using kind of these 4 here. What you can do if you want, you can put Path of the Sun over all these enemies, and every turn they get some damage from Path of the Sun. It's not a lot, 42, I didn't really max it at all, but yeah, it's worth, why not, huh? Alright, I just arrived at the slime tunnels, and I thought I would record it as it's a fairly dangerous area, so I might die here, so might as well record my death. So you get these pedestals here, and they all summon a boss. You need to have the 4 orbs from the prides. Here the Dragon Orb, Elemental Orb, Orb of Destruction, and Orbs of Undeath. And you need to put the matching one on the pedestal, and it will summon a boss. You don't have to kill this boss, you can also run for it and just add all the orbs and then just run for the gate. However, I'm going to try to beat him. I'm not entirely sure which boss gets summoned where and stuff, I always forget, but they are fairly dangerous. But I do have a lot of confidence in this character. I do have a lot of hit points, I do have a lot of protection, I do have some escapes, so yeah, let's try. So, Elemental Orb summons this guy here, Glorota the Silent Death. So let's see if we can kill him. He resists 100% lightning. So let's put up a shield, let's do our Irresistible Sun, and then let's hack away at him. There, that was actually really easy. I think there was one boss here, I think it's some undead dude or something, I don't really remember. He always gives me troubles. Somehow I do have a bug, I can't auto-explore, so I don't know why that is. That suddenly started and I can't get rid of it. I'm gonna kill some enemies here first. Yeah, that's enough. Orb of Destruction summons a Maj'Eyal the Crusher. He resists a lot of fire, but we don't have that much fire damage. So, shield, Irresistible Sun, and then hack away at him. I'm gonna charge him to not waste a turn of walking. And now, let's see, he is at 53%. I'm gonna put this Path of the Sun here to have some mobility. And now hack away at him again. Oh, I don't have a shield anymore, so I'll activate the shield. I just used the runic one, so now I'll use my barrier skill to prevent runic saturation. There. That was the second one. So far so good. Here's one. Dragon Orb. Hello. Isuiyata the Fearsome. Not immune to anything, that's good. Shielding, Featherwind, Burning Wave, Arcane Power. Alright, I am going to do Irresistible Sun. And then I'm gonna smack it. There we go. This is actually going really well. Here. Orb of Undeath. I think that's the one that always gave me troubles. He's got a lot of stuff. Blurred Mortality. I always forget what that does, but it's Inspect Creature. Talents, what did that do? Blurred mortality. He only dies when he reaches minus 728 life. So yeah, he's fairly tanky. So I think I might first activate my shield. Then I'm gonna do Wretch to get rid of its buffs. Oh no, he's also undead. That might not work. Let's see. Healing any undead in the area, that's a bad idea. Undeads will be stripped of detrimental effects. Okay, so that's a really bad idea to do that, because then I would heal and buff him as well. So let's pop resist. What's he? He is immune to mind damage, but that doesn't matter. He's actually susceptible to light, so that's good. So Irresistible Sun should do a fair amount of damage. And it did indeed. 18% left only for him, because my shield just exploded and it did a fair amount of damage. I don't know. Come on, my shield is empty, but he's almost dead. Then I'm just gonna activate a rune, not to waste a turn. I'll get some saturation, but there. Now he's dead. Alright. So slime tunnels actually easier than I've ever had them, to be honest. So yeah, I seem to do a fair amount of damage and I'm very tanky. So this seems to work out fairly well. Alright, I am at the final boss, so let's see what happens. I might die, I might not. I hope I don't die, of course, because I've put a lot of time in this character. But yeah, so let's see. You have Elander, who is very, very quick and he hurts a lot. And he's also got Essence of Speed, as you can see. And you've got Argonial, who hurts a bit less hard. I also have the help of High Sun Paladin Erin, so I kind of hope that she tanks Argonial while I deal with Elander. You can also close here these invocation portals, but no, I've never really bothered with it. Whenever I was here, I just kind of went straight for the bosses and it worked out okay. So maybe now it doesn't work out okay and I have to change my tactics, but let's see. So I'll first activate my shield. Then, yeah, so I need to kill this guy as soon as possible, and preferably I would get rid of his buffs. So they are not undead, so I could use my vomit. But maybe I'll charge him first. Rush. Yes, alright, so then I'll vomit. Although High Sun Paladin will also have problems with my vomit, so maybe I won't do that. I will put on my Irresistible Sun. And then I'll start hitting him. He is not resistant to any of my damage. Now my shield is out. I think I'll still put on my vomit just to get rid of his Essence of Speed, hopefully. Oh, I'm attacking Argonial now. I'll put on my speed, so I've got a ring of speed, so my speed will be 33% for 5 turns. Let's see, maybe I'll put on... Which spells does he like to use? Darkness, shadows, lightning, arcane. Oh, he has everything. So I'll just put down a ward, because I have an item that allows me wards, and I want to. I don't have any darkness, or never mind then. I was hoping I had the right type to ward myself against. So then I will put on my Providence to get rid of nasty status effects if they ever occur. And then I'll start hitting the guy again. First put on my shield. Almost. That's one. And then we have Argonial. So I'll first put on a shield. Then I'll activate my Irresistible Sun again. And then it's time to smack Argonial in the face with... she doesn't resist my light damage, so I'll first do Crusade. No, first do Assault, that's more damage. I'm hoping my Sun Paladin will survive, but it's far from certain. Put on a shield. Oh. Come on, Sun Paladin, you can do it. How much do we have left? 27%. Still 10 turns to my Irresistible Sun. I'll put on my Retribution, because that will make a nice explosion once they do me enough damage. Come on! There we go! Fought the two sorcerers without closing any invocation portals. First time I ever do it on Roguelike, so that's great. And let's see. Yay! She's alive as well. And I'm a winner! Woohoo! Look at that. Alright, so perfect. So this build is definitely viable. So yeah, good luck with it. Have fun with it. I hope you found this video useful, and see you next time.